Good afternoon, Tottenham fans, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boy Dave. And today I'll bring you good news as Tottenham are set to officially announce their second signing of this summer transfer window. And that comes by the way of 18-year-old midfielder, come right back, teenage sensation Archie Gray from Leeds United for a fee of £40 million on a 6-year contract, with Joe Rodon heading the opposite way for £10 million in a separate transaction. Now, it's worth noting that this deal is being held up on its announcement due to Leeds United. Joe Rodon is away in America. They're trying to find a way to get these documents signed, sealed, and delivered so that it can be officially announced. Tottenham moved very quickly over the weekend to go and get this deal done. Of course, Archie Gray was due to have a medical with Brentford over the weekend after they initially struck up a £35 million deal with Leeds United. However, Leeds United were not happy and rejected the offer due to the payment structures of the deal, which opened the corridor for Tottenham to be able to come in, flex their financial might, if that's what people want to call it, and be able to get this deal over the line. But what I'm also most impressed is that they've managed to use Joe Rodon, Deadwood, at the club as a makeway. It's also worth noting that this is not a knee-jerk reaction or move by Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham have held a firm long-term interest in Archie Gray, with The Athletic recently reporting that Tottenham actually tried to sign Gray before he signed his first professional contract at Leeds United. He chose to stay at Leeds United, I would guess, due to his family heritage there. His great-grandfather, his uncle, his father all turned out for Leeds United, so I presume he wanted to follow in their footsteps. Spurs also continued to track Archie Gray all of last season. Of course, they sent Joe Rodon there, and they were well aware of Leeds' PSR financial problems, which were also very well reported on, because they were trying to negotiate a deal for Joe Rodon at the time, because they didn't have a mandatory buy option in the deal that they initially struck to bring him in on loan. So that's one that Tottenham would have kept an eye on all season long and waited for this opportunity to be able to pounce, swoop, and get their man over the line. Now, on to the player himself. Gray arrives at Tottenham Hotspur despite being 18 with a huge reputation after a breakout campaign last season, making 52 appearances, scoring 1 goal and providing 2 assists across the campaign, across all competitions, and was absolutely crucial in Leeds United's run to the playoff finals. Of course, being deployed in centre midfield at the start of the campaign and then being moved to inverted right back for the rest of the campaign, where he shone in both positions. And that's one thing I've always said about really good players. They're able to play in multiple positions, or at least do a job in multiple positions. And Leeds United fans, I know, were very happy with how he performed in both centre midfield and right back. Now, when I was doing my loan reports last season, tracking Joe Rodon, Gray was a standout performer for Leeds United most weeks. Their fans absolutely love and adore this guy, and from the games that I've watched Leeds United play, I can fully understand why. And what I love about him is I almost feel like he's playing with a fearlessness. He doesn't have the burden or the weight of life and everything else on top of him. All he's got to do is concentrate on his football, go out and play, and you can clearly see that helps the kid in terms of his performances. One thing he's very good at is getting stuck in, which is probably part of the reason why he ended up playing right back, because he's very good one-on-ones defensively, but also he's always willing to put himself into a position to be able to receive that ball and to be able to move play forward and expand play with his passing. He is a very exciting prospect and one of England's finest right now. And I have no doubt that Leeds United fans are very upset losing this guy. Most of them call him a generational talent. Gray has also represented England at under 21 level despite only being 18, and also won the 23-24 Young Championship Player of the Season award, which is in recognition of his performances, being able to double up and still put in the same level of performances across multiple positions. It's also worth noting that Gray comes from good footballing stock. His great uncle Eddie is a legend at Leeds United. His great-grandfather Frank and his dad Andy all lined out for Leeds United, which is absolutely fantastic for the youngster. I mean, he has great examples, great role models to be able to learn off. He's been brought up and schooled and educated in that football environment, which is, of course, a huge benefit to the likes of Archie Gray, and he can draw from an invaluable wealth of knowledge to aid his own career. So this is a guy that I wouldn't expect to see his talent drop off somewhere along the line. This is a guy that, with all the footballing people around him, you would expect his career is going to be at the top for quite some time. Now, I do have some question marks about this deal. What position has Spurs identified to play and develop Archie Gray in? Of course, it's all well and good that he can play two positions, but they would have had to identify one position where they put him in to nurture and really develop this player. Is it inverted right back, which he played at Leeds United, which then frees up Emerson to make his move to Milan and probably ends our interest in Vanderson? Or is it centre midfield, which clears the pathway for Ollie Skip to move on permanently? What does that mean for the likes of incoming Bergvall, who of course arrives at the club today? Alfie Devine coming back to expect to be able to fight for his position in the squad on pre-season, along with Tyrese Hall, who I feel Ange Postecoglou really likes. Please let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. The next question mark I have: 40 million is a huge fee to outlay for a teenager who only has one season as a bite-sized sample to go off. So are they actually going to look to develop this guy? Because we can sit here and say, of course, initially, yes, but we've brought in Valise, sent him out on loan because it didn't work out. Look at all the academy prospects we have queuing up at the door right now, knocking on the door for an opportunity, which we barely gave to last season. So it'll be interesting to see where the opportunities for Archie Gray comes along. However, what I will say is, I do think he will go straight into the first team squad. There's going to be a lot of opportunities there, of course, probably in the Europa League at some point, but also across the domestic campaign. But what I will say is, this is within keeping of what Tottenham Hotspur have done in the market since Paratici's arrival, which is go after Europe's top young talent. Gray is one of England's hottest properties in his age group right now, and it does add to the exciting English young talent that we already have at the club, of course, already representing England at various underage levels. Jamie Donnelly, Tyrese Hall, Mikey Moore, Alfie Darlington, Alfie Devine, Ashley Phillips, Will Lancashire, let alone some of the hottest properties across Europe that we've acquired in the likes of Lucas Bergvall, who joins the club today, Luka Vuskovic, who joins next summer, and of course Papa Matasar, who has already broke through. So if I'm an English fan, I'm really excited to see what's coming through for the future, and we could get back to a point like we did under Pochettino, where most of that England squad is Tottenham-based players. But also, if you're Tottenham Hotspur, you should be super excited as well. We are acquiring some of the hottest young prospects around Europe. Almost, I would argue, is it a concession plan for some of the players we've already got in the first 11, just in case they decide to leave or move on? However, I'm really excited as a Tottenham fan, and I'm starting to almost get what I want, where the peripheries of this squad will be filled up with the hottest prospects, young, exciting talent from all across Europe. Now, I need to clear something up a little bit as well, because I did get myself into a wee bit of trouble on Twitter yesterday. I didn't exactly word my point in the correct way, and I got absolutely pounced on. And that's what happens when you're not educated, kids. So be cool and stay in school. But what I initially done is I grabbed, Archie Gray coming to Tottenham, and I used that to sort of make my point about the PSR situation. In the end, we didn't really test any of these clubs, the likes of Leicester, Newcastle, Aston Villa, for any of their real top talents that could have also tried to solve problems for Tottenham Hotspur. And in the end, we allowed them to circumvent ways around the rules. Now, I know some people would argue it just didn't pan out the way we wanted it, but then surely that makes all Tottenham's financial prowess absolute hype, and that's all it ever will be. We've had the January transfer window to capitalize when no one was moving in market, we failed, and the PSR to really go after clubs and the top talents, and we failed to test them. And I used Archie Gray to make my point, which was probably wrong, and that's why I got pounced on. But I just want to clear that one up. Now, a couple of final bits. It's clear Gray is a player who can fit into Ange Postecoglou's system. Postecoglou likes to build out from the back. Archie Gray is very composed on the ball. Also out of possession, Postecoglou likes to go and try and win that ball back with aggression, with a bit of tenacity, and Archie Gray is also very good out of that. So he ticks the boxes on both of these requirements. But at 18 years of age, it remains to be seen what impact Archie Gray will initially have on Tottenham's first team. So please give me your thoughts on that in the comments section below. But one thing I do know, we certainly have one of England's hottest prospects in the game. So that's my thoughts on it, guys. Please give me your interactions in the comments below. Give me your thoughts on the deal. Some of the questions I've asked you: what position will he play, right back or centre midfield? And I'm going to leave you in the great words of the great Shawnee Maddox, who probably sums up most people's feelings on this deal. The fact that we haven't addressed other issues like striker or winger is frustrating or maybe underwhelming to you. But in the long run, this could be a deal that really works out for Tottenham due to his versatility, being able to fill in at right back and centre midfield, also with his age and the talent he possesses. Guys, That's it from me. If you could kindly smash a like button, help send this video out to more people so that they can get in on this party, on the engagement in below, the back and forth in the comment section. Guys, have a great day. Come on, you Spurs. In the big hands we trust, we never stop.